Let me first apologize for yesterday. I do get that kind of stuff sometimes when the weather turns cold all of a sudden, and it's one of those inexplicable things because the barometer doesn't go down or anything else that might explain what's going on. I think it's just something that in this case it's something in the subconscious that's like, oh my god, it's cold outside. Good morning, Musa and Elaine. I think that I talked about it, about this kind of stuff before. It's how it's weird how your mind plays tricks on you. Like, for example, in summer, when it's very hot outside, I need to turn my AC down to like 72, otherwise I am so hot. But in winter, when it's very cold outside, I'm cold at 74. So, yeah. Hi, Ramona. So what I thought about doing today is a variant of the fairy door. Hi, Colleen. That would be more or less like a Santa's door or a Santa's helper door, and you can do it in all kinds of variations. And one of the cute things that you can do, and you probably saw that many times, including with the fairy doors, and I hope to be able to do one soon, is to actually have a fairy door screwed in your wall right above the trim, so that you can say, yeah, those are my fairies. But you can do that with a little Santa door, and you can make it either into a tree ornament, or you can, I don't know, you can make a pendant, or you can make it a little bit bigger and actually put it on the wall behind the tree. Hi, Ramona. Hi. Oh, I already said hi, Ramona. Hi, Ascara. Hi, Lydia. So let's first start with the door itself. And in order to do the door itself, I'm just getting some, hold on. We got stuff back where it belongs, but I also got the stuff that I needed. Hi, Sharon. So this is a rose petal, big rose petal cutter. But you can use anything you have ovalish, even if you have a cookie cutter, you know, like the ones for, you can make it more rounder, you know, like the ones for snowmen, or you can use it. And I'm going to use this wax paper to work on. So I'm going to first do my cut. And then I'm going to cut off the bottom. And let me get this a little bit more in a... Hi, Beth. Finnegan is doing pretty good. We still have some issues eating, because the only thing that he wants to eat right now is tuna mousse in tubes, and it's a tad expensive, but I'm trying to switch him to homemade stuff. Okay, let me make sure that this is... There we go. Okay, so I got this. Now my next move is to grab a needle, and what I'm going to do is to get my eyeglasses on, and then I'm going to make some lines that go, I'm going to turn it around to work better, but lines that would go from the top to the bottom, and they don't have to be perfectly parallel. They don't have to be continuous. On the contrary, as different as you can. Some of them have to be deeper, some of them have to be less deep, but just keep doing some lines with your needle. Until you get quite a bit of them. I'm gonna turn it because I have the tendency to start at the edge and not go all the way to the edge on this side. But once you get a lot of these little lines, all right, get a little bit of cling wrap. You don't need a lot, just a small piece of cling wrap. Place it on here. Make sure it doesn't really have to be super clinged there. Yeah, if he's not sleeping too hard, he's going to come, Finnegan. If not, I promise I'll show him to you when we finish the tutorial. And then I'm going to make some a little bit deeper lines with the back, with the non-cutting edge of my blade, but they will not be cuts. They will only go like half an inch or so. So I'm going to do 4 of these lines. They are practically still lines, and they don't even have to be the same size. You can make some of them wider, you can make some of them smaller, because these would be the boards of the door. Just make sure that they are noticeable enough. Okay, there we go. We got some nice boards. Finnegan's sleeping. Then prepare the paper towel so that you can do a dry rub, and then grab some cheapo white acrylic paint. And use your finger to do a little bit of dry rub, but it has to be a very dry rub. So wipe your finger with the acrylic on it a lot on the paper towel, and then, because you're going to be layering very, very thin coats of paint, you don't want it to be too thick because it's not gonna look realistic. Okay, just keep so that we can obtain the old wood look. And of course you don't have, you can use sienna clay, or you know, burnt sienna clay, but because we all have a lot of mud clay, it's a good way to use it. And we turn this into very, very weathered wood. If you want to make it look even more like weathered wood, use a gray, a darker gray with just a touch of brown mixed in. Okay, give me a second to clean my finger. because if I don't, it's gonna be a pain to take the acrylic off my finger. Alrighty, so now we have a pretty good wood thing, right? And I'm going to do an extra thing just to give it an extra look, and let's put a little bit of light inside. And here you can use a square, you can use, I could use from my punching dies for leather, but this would be easier. This is the smallest in the oval Premo cutters. So let's just use this, make sure that it's pretty much in the middle and it's fairly straight. And this is going to be the window. And let's take this out from the window. Now, how am I going to place the light inside on here? I'm going to grab a little bit of orange or even red, and then as usual, I've been working on things and I'm just moving stuff around to get what I need to the surface and what I don't need, so that I don't lose it. Okay, hold on a second. I know I have yellow, but give me a second to grab something from here. Sorry for that. I have some yellow underneath a pile that's here to my left, and I don't want to really mess up the pile. So I'm going to get about a bead a little bit bigger than about the size of a garbanzo bean, and a small coral or orange thing, and then just create a small Skinner blend, very small. I'm not going to go through the pasta machine with it. I'm going to just make it by hand. There's no reason to mess up the pasta machine with all this. Just simply keep going, and from time to time rolling, and then from time to time get it even narrower. But you know, you need to create a little bit of a gradient between this orange and the, not a lot of it, just, you know, just so it wouldn't be a line. Is that too white for you to see what I'm doing? Hold on, let me turn this down a little bit. Okay, and there we go. It looks more watchable. See, I'm getting there, probably one or two more. Because what you want to do is to give that effect of, hey, there's a fire lit inside. Yeah, it's getting there. And now I will let it get wider just a bit and figure out which side I want to use. I want to use this side or I want to use this side. This one looks more. So let me get on here and super thin it out. Actually, let's do a little bit of stretching. And actually, let's just use this. And I'm going to place it so it would be pretty much not exactly half, but more like the bottom of it. And I'm not gonna throw this because I'm going to use it for little decorations. And now let's place this here. And remember that we cut this from it. Need my eyeglasses. It's out of frame? Yeah, it's a little bit out of frame, but don't worry because I'm going to put a frame around it, so it's not that big of a deal. That happens when you cannot look from directly above. There we go. Okay, so what we are going to do is to actually, I'm gonna need one that goes full across and then two shorter ones. So this is going to go full across. And we are going to place two tiny ones, and you don't even have to measure because you simply cut from what you cut off. But again, this whole light, fire light inside is completely optional. You don't have to do it. There we go. So we got a little window. Now let's give it, we're gonna make it a frame. Like the window frame, right? And once again, first of all, kind of soften up these edges just with your finger. You don't need a lot of stuff, and it doesn't have to be perfectly equal, this strip, because remember, we are talking about something that's very old, and it was very much, okay, somebody sneezed. I think that was Connor. Very much weather worn, right? All right, now we're gonna cut in a diagonal here, and we are going to place it nicely around. So I got here and here. Try not to lose my see how this one is not bent all the way, so I'm gonna bring it all the way here, and then I'm going to bring this on top of it and gently feather here. Where's my, let's grab a little. To do a perfect feathering here and here, let's just redo some more of that. Okay, and of course we're gonna need to put a little bit of weatherization, and on top of that what we are going to do is give it some snow. So back to the white. And this time I'm going to add a little bit thicker stuff just on top of the, because if this stands out, obviously it's going to get some snow on it, right? Okay, let me clean my finger again. And for everybody who is always wondering why do I always use my middle finger, no, it's not to flip you off, it's because I have nerve damage in my index finger and I cannot feel much with it, so I don't feel what I'm doing. Nerve damage is less in the rest of my fingers. Now, if you do have issues with making any kind of decorations and stuff, I do recommend these things, and let me get you to the, okay, come here, to the page on PolyClay Play, where you can get these. These are little best flexible molds that are like winter and Christmas. That you can get. There you go. So these you can get at polyclayplay.com, and you cannot find these anywhere else, so you really cannot find these on Amazon or anything. And you have all kinds of little decorations that you can put, like the little tree and the little drum, and then you have here the holly leaves. And of course this is perfect I would recommend, if you want to do Christmas ornaments with this Santa, to use Sculpey Ultralight, because of course it's very light, it's white, and it's going to take the colors very nicely. And it almost looks like you'll get stuff that looks almost like it's made out of meringue. That's how it looks. Okay, so next thing we need to do is to give it a nice, as soon as I grab my white on here, as it should be here, okay, this is horrible. Just a second. I should have been more careful with what I put on top and what I put on the bottom. Things happen. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm going to get some white first. And I'm going to make a sausage. About this much should be enough. And as with all sausages, first make a bead. Make sure you roll it until you have no more folding lines. And then gently roll it into a sausage. And I want it to be relatively nice and even. Okay, a little bit more. Let's do this end properly. And it will have to be slightly tapered, so I'm going to cut here and cut here, and I'm going to have to cut more than that. But first, let me taper a little bit the ends, so the ends just hold the acrylic block at an angle. And the same on this other end. And then the trick is to cut this in half. And I shall do that as soon as I find my eyeglasses. Now I hope I'll cut right in the middle, because I'm not looking from above, so I'm going to kind of depend on the camera. And there we go. Not too shabby. Okay. And what I want to do next is, and again, it doesn't have to be perfectly equal. What I want to do next is grab again some cling wrap, because I could have kept that one, but for some reason I threw it away. And yes, you kind of want it to wrinkle this time. There's a reason for that. And then grab either your blade, or you can grab the blunt of your X-Acto knife, and then make not cuts but indentations. They don't have to be perfectly equal. Again, don't fret over them being fully equal, and make sure that you have quite a bit of this wrinklage on the clay. Kind of put it into it, because this time we want to imitate stone covered in snow. So there we go. And we are going to get it all nice and make sure that it's well pressed against the door itself, because once you're done with everything, you will want to put a backing on it. And let's do this. Now the next thing is to grab a little bit of white or even interference blue mica powder. Because you want all this to glisten, right? We are talking here about the magic of Christmas. So you want just a tad of glistening, but not something that would be super shiny. Now, if you are a fan of glitter, go ahead and put glitter on this. It's entirely up to you. It's Christmas, it's pretty Christmas, right? I'm not going to use glitter myself because I have some other stuff to work on and I don't want to contaminate. But if you want to put some iridescent glitter, go ahead and use it. Now for the next thing, because I've been saying that, yeah, I do have something that I'm still editing that's done with the new Premo metallics. Let's go ahead and use some here because it's glittery enough. Remember when I first got it and I unboxed, I said at the time that to me it looks like it doesn't really have mica in it, but more like sparklers. The size of the particles being kind of like too large for mica, but too small for glitter. Those are usually called sparklers. Okay, so let's grab a little bit of this, and you can use it obviously into making some. Now remember, this being a mica clay, it's going to give some mica effects. So again, make a bead, kinda move it a little bit because you want it to fit this. You can use a cosmetic sponge for this, or you can even use wax paper. Oops, not here. and then use your blade to remove all the extra. And let's pop it out. This is the first time I'm using this specific, okay, I don't see well, this specific mold. So I think it's going to be quite precious. Yes, we did get quite a precious. It looks pretty. Let's do another one, because it's much easier to do all this stuff. So again, bead, flatten, I'm kinda trying to match a little bit the mold. Place it in. Press with the roller. Use your blade, pivot, hold here, and then shave at mold level. So again, if you want to make sure that you did shave everything, you can change the angle. So let's go from this side, if there's anything else to shave. No, so I guess I shaved the extra pretty good. Make sure it's all out. I don't have, normally you just flex these to pop stuff out, but my hands are not strong enough to do all this. Okay, now let's grab it. Let's place a few here. Now see, it already has some berries here, but we're gonna have to color them because we don't want green berries, right? And you can enhance a little bit the veining. Let's place another one here. Again, go pressing where you already have some kind of indentation. And I'm going to insist a little bit here. And even why not? Just simply flatten and we'll add some other berries. Let's grab a little bit of red and make some berries. Now the question is, do we want this to be frosted too? Of course we do. It just looks prettier when it's all snowed on. Another thing that would work here pretty nicely before we add any other kinds of decorations is also in one of these molds, and that is a little tree. So let's grab stuff to do the little tree, and it's going to be in the other mold, not in the one with the Santa. So again, I'm grabbing this. It's okay, Judith. Sleep well. Okay, and again I'm trying to kind of match the shape of the mold, pressing it in and giving it a roll to make sure that everything is in, and then pivot. Let's pivot from the other angle. No, it was pretty good. And another thing, before doing anything, kinda fold it in before folding it out, because that helps with the edges separating from the mold, see? And then this is how you normally work with these, but as I said, my hands don't have enough strength to fold these properly to get stuff out. So let's place our little tree here. Oh yeah, and of course we need to put something on the bottom, and this time we're going to put just simply white. You can do stones if you want, or you can just leave it like this and cut at an angle. And of course, as I said, this you can do it in a larger version to go on the wall behind your tree, or you can do it on a smaller version to make yourself a pendant, or this size goes perfect in the tree. Now I'm going to use this again just to make sure that my little tree is well stuck here. Oh, and what I forgot to do is to grab a pinch of gold, right? Just a pinch of gold, because we don't have a door handle right now. Pinch of gold, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. Flatten, pick up, and then place here. And you can put a little bit of gold mica powder. I'll do that here in a second. But as I said that I was going to use some of these for the tree, so I'm going to put, no, let's put the balls red. Where's my red? I thought I still had some red. Let's put a little bit, a few of those itty bitty ornaments, and I'm gonna make them even smaller than the berries. Okay. Oh, come on. I'm going to get a tiny whites, and then I'm going to use this as a tinsel, so a very thin strip. Oops. And again, hold here and then gently move away, and we got some itty bitty string here, and I do not want the end, it's useless to me. Okay, I am in the camera. So start it kind of like under the tree on one side, continue it here, bring it over, bring it under and cut with the needle. and then you can put one more starting kind of like right in the middle, so it would be like another light string. And there we go, we have a nice. Now the other thing that we can do that works beautiful, and let me grab a pinch of the red metallic Premo to make another door decoration that is very, very specific to Christmas. So I'm going to make 2 beads, start with 2 beads that need to be the exact same size, and you'll see why the exact same size. Are they? No, the white needs a little bit more. And again, bead, 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 roll, roll, roll until you have no folding lines. And of course, if you don't have the Premo metallics, just use red. Yeah, we are supposed to get snow here Wednesday. It was supposed to come to be here Tuesday night, but now it shows Wednesday night. Okay, and I'm going to go with making these fairly thin. If you cannot make these, just use your extruder. But I usually, when I only have to do little pieces of strings and stuff, I just use my acrylic block, because why go through all the trouble of cleaning that extruder for just a couple strings, right? So we want it to be relatively equal. Oh well, the red is a little bit longer, but I have a little bit thicker white here. Alright. Oops. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to twist it. And what you want is to be the twisting to be fairly equal. So you see how this is not as twisted, so I'm going to come back here and twist some more, because once you start evening out the edges, you cannot go back and untwist as it is. So now grab again your acrylic block or mirror or whatever you're using for this, and simply flatten out the rope. And it's going to be, once it's baked, it's going to be quite glittery in the, don't use white pearl thinking that you're going to get a better effect instead of the white, because the white pearl, when it's in the on the side, seen from the side, is gray, so it doesn't really look very good. Okay, so I'm thinning out a little bit, even if I'm not gonna use all of it. And if it's not twisted enough, you can twist some more at this point, but you'll have to flatten it up again. I mean, flatten the whole thing again. Only that it's not much that you can do. You can only twist it up to one point. Okay, so you do realize what we are going to do with these, right? We are going to make a couple candy canes. And you can even make this bottom of the door a little bit longer if you go for a Christmas decoration. and plop some of these like growing out of there. Alrighty. Oops. Alright. So see, it's not that big of a deal. Now the only thing that I still need to do, this is a fairly fairish Santa door, right? So the only thing that I still need to do here is to give it, I need to give a little bit of snow here. Just a pinch, not a lot. Again, with the rubbing thing. And remember, you can use glitter. I'm not going to use glitter because I still want to work here without having to completely wash off my whole tile, because you know how bad glitter is. It goes into everything. But I'm going to give these a little bit of snow. If you have pearl acrylic, go ahead and use the pearl acrylic. It's going to be just perfect. Thank you, Ramona. And you see, it's not very hard to make it. Especially if you get, and by the way, because I said before I finish to show you how to do a without the molds, okay? Because not everybody's got the mold, and not everybody might be able to buy the mold as they go. One thing that I wanted to tell you, check on my channel and check on the Facebook page. I have a sale on all my page tutorials for 25% off, and you have to enter a coupon, okay? So okay, I was trying to remember what I was going to do. See, I have, sometimes I have. So what you first do, you need to thin out and what you do, you just go, make sure it's well stuck on the tile so it wouldn't start lifting up. But you go and you start, and I'll show you the second way of doing it using a needle, because some people are more comfortable with the needles, and you can manipulate the needle much better, honestly. This is what I find, because the tip of the X-Acto knife is a little rigid. So you just do this. You only need two of these, and you got one. And then before you place it, again, use your needle and you have holly leaves. Okay, now to do the tree, let's make a bead Yes, yes, you can do napkin holders. You can do these standing up on a base, and you just make a groove for these. And base, of course, also from polymer clay. Make a groove and just glue them, and they'll hold the napkins between them. Okay, tree. Cut about not fully half, but not 1/3, kind of like in between. Rebead what's left. The same thing, not fully half, but not 1/3, kind of like in between. Rebead. And the same thing. You don't have to work on making more than 3 tiers for the tree. So you cut these in half. And let me place them on an acrylic thing so you can see better what I'm doing, and so it would be easier to move around. So again, grab your needle, and simply do like if you were doing the petals of a flower, right? Oops, sorry. Told you I drop a lot of stuff. And there you go. You have a little tree that you can use instead of the mold one. So I hope you liked it. If you just found my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give me thumbs up, and don't forget to go check the sale. The link is both on the channel, in the community. I put a post with the coupon, and it's also on the Kalyana design page on Facebook. Thank you so much, and I shall see you all next Sunday. Let's hope we don't have any more weather events. And I said I'm going to bring Finnegan, so hold on. He was in the closet. There you go. There you go. Look at people. This is Finnegan. He's doing good. He was sleeping. He was sleeping, poor baby. He was sleeping and Mama woke him up. This is the only thing that I'm upset. They had this huge collar with a patient thing on him, and it practically destroyed his mane because it rubbed against it, and he's been losing hair from his mane. My poor baby. There we go. There we go. Finnegan, sleepyhead. Okay, thank you all. See you next Sunday. Bye.